Greetings, I'm Matt Seymour and I teach English Language Arts in Fort Collins, Colorado. Today I'm going to demonstrate how you can use Google Drive with your students to fulfill this Common Core State Standard, which requires that you teach students vocabulary and discuss how word choice impacts the meaning of a text. Students will also collaborate with one another and learn to decode Shakespeare's language without your help. We'll be working on Act 1, Scene 3 of Twelfth Night. Google Drive is a free program that allows you to create documents similar to the ones made in Microsoft Office. However, Google Drive documents are stored in the cloud and can be edited by multiple users simultaneously, so we can have an entire class working on the same document at the same time. You and your students will need Google accounts to use this tech. It's free, so all you need to do is sign up. When you are in Google Drive, click the Create button and select Document. You will need to adjust the share settings so your class can access the doc, and you'll want to invite them to this doc via email. I'm going to copy and paste Act 1, Scene 3 from Twelfth Night from the free open source digital texts provided by the Folger Shakespeare Library. I've made some modifications for my class. Notice I've marked off a section where I can model the skill I want them to learn, and I've divided the text so that different groups can work on different parts at the same time. By the end of the lesson, we'll have all collaborated to translate, interpret, and define some of Shakespeare's trickier words and idioms. Before you model the skill and have your students annotate this scene, I recommend reading through the text as a class at least a couple of times so they will have a basic understanding of what's going on. This will allow your students to use context clues to infer the meanings of words, and it will help them to better use a dictionary when multiple meanings of words are offered. Let's begin at the top of Act 1, Scene 3, looking at the phrase, "by my troth." Troth is an archaic word, but it looks like two words we use today, truth and oath. Troth has a somewhat similar meaning to both, and only translating this word doesn't really help us to understand the meaning of this phrase. So I'm going to read the rest of the sentence out loud to model using the context to figure out what the phrase means. "By my troth, Sir Toby, you must come in earlier on nights. Your cousin, Milady, takes great exceptions to your ill hours." I can tell that Maria is a bit upset because Toby is up late and disturbing Olivia. This lets me infer that the phrase, "by my troth," is exclamatory. Maria is saying, "For Pete's sake," or "honestly." "Sir Toby, why are you making so much noise?" I'm going to highlight "by my troth" with my cursor and click the comment box. Then click the second comment box. Here I'm going to enter "by my troth equals honestly" and click the comment for a third time so it shows up next to the document as an annotation. You can annotate any other words, phrases, or clauses you want. The next word I would model defining is quaffing. As it is an uncommon word, I need to use a dictionary. Merriam-Webster is free online. Again, I'm going to add the word and the definition into the comments. All of your students will have different sections when they annotate. The Google Doc will show who did what. For example, Johnny T annotated 4 words on this same document from his computer. If your class doesn't have computers and smartphones, you can still do this activity by making photocopies of this scene and using good old-fashioned pens, pencils, and dictionaries. Each group can share their work for the rest of the class to copy onto their own scripts when everyone is done with their sections. But with Google Drive, everyone's work will show up automatically on everyone else's page. Once everyone is finished with their annotations, read through the definitions with the whole class so everyone will benefit from everyone else's work. Finally, you'll want to have the class read the scene at least one more time. Your students should now have a much better understanding of what is going on because they will have done a close reading, and these difficult words and phrases will no longer be obfuscating the meaning. The end result of this lesson is that you've empowered your students to examine the text use a dictionary, and work together so they can understand Shakespeare's language. They will also have practiced using Google Docs, which is a great tool for group work. Feel free to make modifications to this lesson to suit your class. You know your students best. Good luck, and once more into the breach, dear friends.